Mike, Dana won't practice today, and Fulton won't practice today. Other than that, we look forward to challenge of getting ready to play a good Giants football team. You can really see that they've got a tremendous defense and a lot of skill on the offensive side, and their quarterback is playing well right now. So, and Brian who you guys are familiar with, Brian does a good job, creative guy offensively, plus he's got Mike Kafka there on top of that. Mike's a sharp kid. And defensively, they've got a good scheme, one we've played against a couple different times when Shane was at Tennessee. So it's a good bunch there. So anyways, with that, time's yours.
So it sounds like that you were expecting Xavier and Royals to both practice in some form today?
Yeah, they'll practice today.
How is Royals coming?
To start, just looking at the tape of the last game, where are you evaluating and what you guys can do better?
Yeah, I think for myself, just being better at executing in some of those earlier moments in the game especially. I mean, there was guys open, obviously Noah early, but even more than that, just if I kind of sit in that pocket a little bit longer, trust those guys, get the ball to guys down the field, I feel like we can make some more explosive plays. And so that was stuff I scouted on myself. But no, we're going up against a good defensive team this week, especially that D-line. And so finding the right moments to take those shots downfield, but not taking the negative plays as well.
Stay in the pocket longer. Is that something you frequently saw on tape, or just here or there?
Just here or there, mostly. I mean, I think even some of the runs that I made, if I would have just stayed a little bit longer, I could have made some throws to guys and let them make some plays happen. And so, obviously, the runs work, and so you have success in the play and stuff like that. But when you look back on the tape, sometimes you want to make sure that you're going through the progression the right way.
Patrick, Travis said, how is Royals coming along with that knee?
He's coming pretty good, yeah. Yeah, we'll just see how he does here. He's been out for a while, so I'd like to see how he moves around.
With Xavier, is there any limitations on the practice or anything of that nature?
No, neither of them,
yeah. Travis said that after the drop, talking about that there's a lot on his plate and the team asks him to do a lot. And I mean, at this point in his career, is there a tendency that maybe he has too much on his plate, that he would benefit from? I mean, load management gets used at this point in the player's career sometimes. Is it worth discussing that or talking about?
Yeah, no, listen, I mean, Travis made so many of those catches right there, and I don't think that's an age thing or anything at that point. So he's fine. We try to keep an eye on him the best we can. Yeah. So.
Andy, just big picture, what do you see from the pass offense right now for you guys?
Yeah. Probably the same thing you guys see. I mean, it's we're on at times, we're not on at times, so it'd be the same thing you guys are seeing.
Okay. On his plate, the team asks a lot for him, and he feels like he has to, meet that. And he talked about even last year feeling like he needed to be on the field for you when a lot of guys were hurt. Do you feel like this team maybe sometimes asks for too much from Travis, and maybe load management, if you will, would help him be fresher and longevity?
I honestly don't know. I mean, I know he wants to be out there at the end of the day. I mean, he wants to have the chance to make the plays happen, and he's made the plays happen for years. And so, I don't feel like we asked for too much from him, but I mean, we asked for him to be out there and be himself and just be who he is. And I think that in itself is enough for us. And so, I wouldn't. That's probably a question you can ask Trav, but I feel like he's in a good spot, and it's hard to get him off the field. I know that.
Patrick, in the past, you talked about explaining to guys, you got to explain to guys, just keep running. If I'm scrambling, I'm going to find you if you're open. Have you had to explain that to Taekwon at all or anyone else?
No. I mean, I think Taekwon's done a great job to start the year. I mean, I've missed him on some throws, and he's made big plays happen as well. And so I think if he continues to play like he's playing, he'll continue to have big plays within this offense. And he's got a great role in this offense. And so I think just for us in general, I think it's just execution stuff. I mean, we're just barely off here and there. And in the NFL, if you're playing good defenses, if you miss plays, then the drives stall out. And so we're just going to continue to work and continue to practice and learn those things. And as we get guys back, we'll continue to execute at a higher level.
Gotta keep working it.
Sort of like also a big picture. Through 2 games, what are you seeing as far as some of the issues on third down, and what do you need to do to correct what's happening right now?
Yeah. Well, we've been throwing the ball in those situations. And you want to keep them manageable, first of all. And then we've got to hook up on them when called. So, and we can do a better job as coaches of putting them in a better position. So that's kind of the basics of it and what we've got to go through to do that.
Coach, I know you get input from Pat. You put together the game plan and say, hey, what do you like, what do you not like, and all that kind of stuff. How comfortable is he? How much is the formation part of that equation as well, specifically like Pat getting under center and maybe working from that formation as opposed to shotgun or pistol?
Yeah, he's actually grown into liking getting under there and doing that part of it. So we've worked a little bit more in there this year than we had in the past. Yeah.
You get shift gears. When you were 5 years old, you went to New York. You're going back to New York. What do you remember when you were 5 years old about that trip?
It's some of my best memories. I think just my dad being on the Mets and playing in those National League Championship Series versus the Braves or playing in the World Series versus the Yankees. And that's when I could first start remembering stuff. And I don't know what the rules are back then, but they just like had me out on the field. Like I was taking ground balls with like Derek Jeter and then shagging fly balls. And so it was super cool, and I had a lot of great experiences. Then back at the time, the Mets were my favorite team because my dad had the most success, and it's fun to be able to go to New York, and it's such a great city, and play a football game there now.
Patrick, what gives you faith that this team can handle 0-2?
I think it's just the people that we have in the locker room. Like it's even though we've never been 0-2, we've had stretches where we've lost big games kind of consecutively, and guys have responded. You know, like it's about the character of the guys in the locker room more than it is the play on the football field. And I think that we have the guys that are going to continue to work. They're not going to let this kind of push them down, and they're going to use it, if anything, as motivation to be even better. And so I think that gives me the most faith. And then the coaches that we have, they'll continue to push to be even better. And so we'll have a great week of practice this week, and knowing we're going to play our best football to win a game against a good football team in the Giants.
You guys have had a couple of times in your career.
Andy Reid stepped up to the podium and everyone leaned in a little closer, cameras snapping and recorders blinking, hungry for the details he'd share about the Chiefs' upcoming game. He started right away, dropping news fans had been waiting for. Travis Kelce is training well, in great shape, and ready to take on the Raiders. The room buzzed, reporters scribbling notes, but Andy wasn't done. He shared that wide receivers Xavier Worthy and Jalen Royals would both be out there practicing today. A clear sign that the Chiefs are working to strengthen their offense and shake things up. Reporters pressed for more, asking about the passing game, and Andy didn't dodge the tough questions. "I see the same things you guys are seeing," he said, voice steady. "We're on at times, we're off at times." He didn't sugarcoat the struggles, admitting the team hadn't won a game yet. "I understand, I get it," he acknowledged, showing he heard the frustrations echoing from the stands and the headlines. Still, Andy's message was clear. They're not stopping, not slowing down. "We keep working and pushing forward as we go on down the road here." Someone asked about Tom Brady, now seen in the coach's booth for another team, but Andy just shrugged. "I don't know what he's doing for them, so I can't answer that," he said. "He's done a good job announcing, I think, but I don't really know because I don't really listen to him. I haven't gotten into all of that. That was that. No drama, just focus on his own team." Then it was Patrick Mahomes' turn in the spotlight. He was candid, admitting he needed to be better. "I have to be better at executing in the early moments of the game," Mahomes said, tracing the patterns of the last few games in his mind. "Sit in the pocket a little longer and trust our guys and make some explosive plays." He wasn't just talking about himself, though. The Chiefs' record, 0-2, hung in the air, but Mahomes flipped it into fuel. "Guys are gonna use this as motivation to be even better," he promised, determination in his eyes. He talked about what happens when a team is winning a lot, how sometimes the little details get lost because winning makes everything seem fine. But now, with losses stacking up, Mahomes said, those little things matter more than ever. You have to focus on those little details and set the example on the practice field. The sense of urgency was clear, but so was the resolve, as if every challenge was another brick in the foundation they were building for the season ahead. The energy in the room shifted as reporters realized both coach and quarterback weren't shying away from hard truths. They owned the struggles, owned the frustration, but also owned the responsibility and the path forward. Andy Reid kept his answers crisp, not wasting a word, keeping every eye fixed on what mattered most, the work ahead. Meanwhile, Mahomes' self-reflection was matched by a focus on the team. He spoke of trust, of staying in the pocket a little longer, letting plays develop, and believing in his receivers. There was a sense that every practice snap, every meeting, every moment was now charged with a new intensity. Someone in the back asked about the pressure from media and fans, and Andy nodded, acknowledging the noise. He understood the concerns, the high expectations that come with being a top franchise. But his tone never wavered from steady, grounded, and focused. He knew that pushing through the rough patches was part of what defined great teams. After all, adversity was nothing new in football or in Kansas City. Subscribe now if you want to keep up with every twist and turn in the Chiefs' season. As the conference continued, both men sent a subtle but unmistakable message. The only way forward was together and through action, not talk. The locker room was alive with that message, too. Xavier Worthy and Jalen Royals, both ready to practice, brought a fresh spark. The coaches and players alike were poring over film, analyzing every route, every missed catch, every throw. The intensity in meetings was different now, sharper and more urgent. With Kelce training hard, the offense had its anchor back, and the mood was shifting from frustration to determination. Mahomes especially was leading by example, challenging himself and his teammates to dig deeper, to bring out more energy, more discipline, more focus. Every drill was a chance to reset, every play a chance to rewrite the story. The Chiefs were preparing for the Raiders, but more than that, they were preparing to prove that setbacks wouldn't define them. Andy Reid, ever the steady hand, made sure the team knew that the road ahead would demand everything they had. The Chiefs' culture of resilience pulsed through every locker, every huddle, every practice session. The message was simple. Keep working, keep believing, keep pushing. Mahomes' voice echoed through the halls after practice, urging everyone to pay attention to the small things, to never take a moment off. Even as the outside world speculated and critiqued, inside the building, the focus was locked in. The Chiefs were ready to face the challenge together. Don't miss what happens next. Subscribe for all the latest updates on the Chiefs and their journey this season.